Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and as you all know, I am going to cover, in fact, I have already covered Tribeca Film Festival 2026. I'm covering this from home, and the film that I'm going to talk about today has won, I think, quite a few awards already at the festival. It's Labrador, The Autopsy of Silence. Uh, it's, I think, one of the finest films that I have seen in years. It is so intriguing. It is so. I mean, I was totally into the film, and I loved it so much. I think it's one of my favorite picks at the festival this year. It's directed by Rodrigue Jean. It's a Canadian drama slash thriller, and it stars Christopher Angatookalook. Angatookalook. I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. Please correct me in the comments if I'm not. And of course, Alexander Landry. So now the story is absolutely crazy. So it's about two men who are, and I'm going to talk about the film in a way that I do not give spoilers to you, because there is one particular thing that happens in the second half of the film, and if you have watched the film, then you know what I'm talking about. That one particular scene in the second half, that twist which I think nobody saw coming, that scene just blew my mind away, and for that alone this film is worth watching. However, based on the synopsis, the information that is already available to a lot of us, I'll only talk about that. So the film is about a crew that's on a ship, right? So the atmosphere of the film is obviously cold. These are, really, it's snowing. You're aboard a freight ship. You're aboard a ship which is sailing through the seas. There is a lot of high tide. There is, the whole atmosphere is very dark and gloomy. But the irony is that it is also very cozy, right? So whenever you're in the exteriors, it's very gloomy, it's very dark, but the interiors are very cozy. So that's how that the director Rodrigue Jean has done a great job, because both the emotions are conveyed based on how the setting of the film changes, the interiors versus the exteriors, right? So again, it's about two men. One of them is Alupa. He is an engineer. He's played by Christopher Angatookalook, and the other one is Alexandre Landry. He plays Alex. So Alex and Alupa, these are two men who, it seems at first that they are in love with each other, but then, Alex is in a relationship with a woman at at the ship, and there's this there's this equation of rivalry between Alupa and the woman. I think her name, I'm not sure about what her name is, but the woman who Alex is in love with, there's actually this rivalry going on between the two, and between Alupa and that woman. Now, throughout the film, now when Alex dies, and we all know Alex is going to die, when he dies, I swear I was really harshly judging Alupa, right? And I felt really guilty for doing that when the final reveal happened, because I felt, oh my god, you know, things are not what they seem, right? And all this while I was thinking that when Alupa sees Alex's ghost, he's hallucinating because his brain is responding to the guilt of having murdered him. Because throughout the film, until it is actually revealed who killed Alex, for the first 1 hour 30 minutes, you would feel that Alupa is very guilty. And I think, and that is why I would say hats off to the writers of this film and the director, Rodrigue Jean, because I swear I could not have imagined that this is how things are going to play out. And I think it's written so well that for the longest time you do think that Alupa is guilty. You do think that Alupa murdered Alex because Alex wanted to be in a heteronormative relationship, in a heterosexual relationship, and perhaps you feel that Alex did not reciprocate Alupa's feelings. And therefore, when Alex is dead and when Alupa hallucinates and Alupa sees Alex's ghost, I think it becomes very clear that, at least that is how I interpreted it initially, that Alupa is hallucinating because he's feeling guilty. And a lot of those scenes are so tender. They are, particularly the scene when Alupa is questioned by one of the investigators, and Alex is actually, you see Alex's ghost comforting Alupa. I think I have seen many queer films, you guys. I have seen All of Us Strangers. I have seen Joyland. I have seen, uh, I have seen shows like Heartstopper, Netflix shows like Heartstopper, which, there are a lot of portrayals of queer love and queer relationships, which are really heartwarming and heart touching. But I think with this film, with Labrador, the Autopsy of Silence, you really see that the way the the gentleness and the gentleness with which this queer love and the earnestness with which it has been portrayed is so touching. Like, I was really moved just by that one particular scene where Alex is actually is caressing Alupa, because now Alupa is obviously going to go to jail. And what stood out for me in the film is also that it's written in a way that the viewer is made to feel, the viewer is made to believe that Alupa is guilty, right? Because a lot of the times when Alupa did not respond to a lot of questions that were being thrown at him, it really seemed to me like he was guilty, right? His silence was the viewer, as a viewer, I did this, and I'm sure a lot of other viewers would also do this, that the fact that during the investigation he was very silent and he was not talking much, and there were a lot of questions being thrown at him, and he was giving very one committal, one line answers, and he was really, there was like a blank expression, which I read it as guilt. But that was not guilt, that was him being absolutely traumatized, right? Because he knew that nobody was going to believe him. And that is exactly what, I'm not going to reveal it, that is exactly what the murderer also said, that nobody is going to believe you, right? So, I mean, every reaction that was given by Alupa, every reaction that Alupa gave kind of seemed like he was guilty, and that he did not want to admit it. And here I was thinking, what a horrible guy. He lived, he killed, he unalived, he killed the man he had a crush on, because that man did not reciprocate his feelings. But the truth is very different, right? So that plot twist was, I think, insane, and that was the moment when I was anyway sold on the film. Even before I knew this, I knew I was going to love this film. The first 15 minutes, I knew that it's going to be very intriguing to watch. But that twist alone, and the courtroom scenes, how can we just talk about, how well the scenes in the courtroom are filmed? Because even sometimes when that black lawyer, the African American lawyer, when she's asking the woman who Alex was in a relationship, when she's asking her questions, you do see her ask a couple of questions which kind of, they really hit you. They're like, she could have been the murderer, but then you're like, no, obviously it's Alupa, why would it be her? So I think one thing that really touched me was that the ghost of Alex was asking Alupa. I think Alupa wanted to go north, and Alex at one point said that I will go north with you. And uh, it's really heart touching in the sense that towards the end of the film, we do see one Alex or Alupa. I think one of them walks away from each other and the other stays. And the final conversation in the film that we see the two happening is Alex asking Alupa, why don't you tell the truth? So Alupa says that if I tell the truth, it's going to backfire. And even if I don't tell the truth, it's still going to backfire. So what do we do in that case? We wait. So I think it's a great film, right? It's a great film. Not only does it work as a tender, heartwarming, queer love story, but at the same time, it also works as a thriller or as a crime drama, right? There are so many genres that the film gets exactly right. And I swear, I absolutely love this film. And if you are at the Tribeca Film Festival, I cannot possibly recommend this film to you enough. If you haven't all, because I'm sure by the time the video is out, this video comes out, Tribeca would have ended. I'm filming this on the second to last day of the festival. So obviously, if there is any screening by the time this video reaches you, you can catch it at Tribeca, or you can watch it anytime when it gets a wider distribution or when the film gets a release. I absolutely loved the film, and once I was done watching it, I kept thinking about it for quite a long time. So please, please watch this. You will have a great time. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Dipanch. I cover film festivals from around the world. This is my first review of Tribeca 2026. There are more reviews to come, so stay tuned to this space and watch this space for more film reviews. Take care. Bye bye.